You wake up tired. You go to sleep tired. And somewhere in between, you manage to carry everyone else's emotions, obligations, expectations, but your own. They get buried, delayed, postponed, forgotten. You keep giving, because that's what good people do. You keep helping, because you know what it's like to need help. You keep saying yes, even when everything in your body screams no. And then it happens. You break. You shut down. You start to resent the very people you once loved helping. But the real resentment, it's never about them. It's about you. About how you've taught yourself that love means sacrifice. That value means usefulness. That being chosen means never choosing yourself. Carl Jung would call this a split of the self, when your inner life and outer actions become strangers. You smile, but you're exhausted. You say, "I'm fine," but you're fading. You show up, but you disappear inside. This isn't drama. This is disconnection. And this video, it's not a call-out. It's a homecoming. Back to the part of you that remembers you are not a resource. You are a soul. And souls don't survive through depletion. They thrive through alignment. Let's talk about why your exhaustion isn't burnout. It's betrayal. And how healing begins when you stop abandoning yourself in the name of love. Let's go deeper. Jung believed that when we over-identify with a persona, our outward role, we lose contact with the self, the authentic core of who we are. If your persona is the giver, the helper, the one who always shows up, then slowly every action you take is filtered through that identity. Even your silence becomes performative. You say yes when you mean no. You apologize for existing. You shrink so others can breathe. And with each compromise, a small part of you goes offline. Your joy, your intuition, your vitality. This isn't just emotional fatigue. It's psychic depletion. When Jung spoke of the loss of soul, he wasn't being poetic. He was naming this exact state, when you give and give and give, until there's nothing left inside that feels real. So why do we do it? Because once upon a time, love was conditional. You learned that love had to be earned, that being chosen required being convenient, that your needs were dangerous, shameful, or simply too much. So you adapted. You learned to care for others to feel worthy. You learned to scan the room, feel the tension, carry the weight. You became a master at attuning to others and a stranger to yourself. And here's the trap. People will praise you for this. They'll say you're kind, generous, strong. They'll lean on you, depend on you, admire you, but they won't see you because you're not showing them the real you. You're showing them your usefulness. And deep down it hurts. It hurts to be applauded for your performance and ignored in your pain. That's not connection. That's conditioning. And your body knows it. It's why your stomach tightens when you say yes. It's why your chest closes when someone needs just one more thing. It's why your smile feels like a mask you forgot how to take off. You're not just tired. You're tired of betraying yourself. Let's talk about the nervous system. When you're constantly overgiving, your body isn't calm. It's on high alert. Even if you look composed, your inner world is in a low-grade state of survival. Why? Because overgiving is a form of fawning. In trauma psychology, fawning is the survival response where you appease others to avoid conflict, abandonment, or harm. You become agreeable, accommodating, self-sacrificing, not because you want to, but because it feels like the only way to stay safe. And the body doesn't lie. You might call it kindness, but your heart rate spikes, your gut tightens, your breath shortens. That's not love. That's hypervigilance. You've mistaken survival for generosity. And here's the paradox. The more you give from this place, the more disconnected you feel. Not because giving is bad, but because it's not coming from wholeness. It's coming from fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of being alone. Fear of being called selfish. So you keep pouring, but never feel full. Jung said, "You are what you do not, what you say you'll do." But what happens when what you do is betray your needs again and again? You become a shell, functional, reliable, but empty. And that emptiness, it doesn't mean you've failed. It means your inner world is calling out for restoration. You need rest, not just sleep, but soul rest. You need truth, not just honesty with others, but with yourself. You need boundaries, not to push people away, but to come back home. Because self-abandonment doesn't just cost you energy, it costs you identity. You forget what you like, what you need, what you dream about, what makes your heart feel alive. But you can remember, not all at once, but breath by breath. So how do we begin to break this cycle, not just mentally, but energetically? Carl Jung emphasized the importance of individuation, the process of becoming whole, by integrating all parts of the self, including the shadow. And for chronic overgivers, the shadow often includes selfishness, anger, assertiveness, traits we were taught to suppress. But wholeness requires us to reclaim them. Because boundaries are not barriers, they're containers. They don't shut love out, they protect it. They don't make you cruel, they make you conscious. And if your energy has been leaking through guilt, overcompensation, or people-pleasing, it's time to reseal the vessel. Start with this simple yet powerful practice. The energetic boundary check-in. Each morning, ask yourself 3 questions. Where do I feel pulled today? Not where you're needed, but where you feel magnetically drawn. What does my body need to feel grounded? Not productive, not praised, grounded. Where am I abandoning myself in the name of being nice? Catch it early. Name it. Shift it. This isn't selfish. It's sacred, because your energy is not infinite. It's a currency, and the way you spend it shapes your reality. When you invest it wisely in alignment, not appeasement, you begin to feel something radical. Ease, peace, presence. Not because life gets easier, but because you're no longer fighting yourself. And in that stillness, your true self starts to return, not the version of you who earns love, but the one who embodies it effortlessly. That's your power. That's your home. That's your truth. Now let's talk about rebuilding your energy practically daily, intentionally. Most people think self-care is bubble baths and spa days. But true energetic restoration isn't aesthetic. It's architectural. You have to rewire how you relate to yourself. Start with this core principle. Every yes to someone else is a no to something inside you. So ask yourself, is what I'm saying yes to worth what I'm giving up? Your time, your peace, your creative spark, your sacred mornings. Once you become aware of the cost, overgiving loses its shine. Here's a daily exercise to bring this into practice. The reverse calendar ritual. At the end of each day, take 10 minutes to write down where your energy went. People, tasks, thoughts, whether it was aligned or draining, what you actually needed, but didn't give yourself. Example, gave 2 hours to helping a friend move, felt resentful, said yes to an extra project at work, skipped lunch, needed solitude, watched Netflix with partner instead. Now imagine reversing one of those. What would have changed? This isn't about regret. It's about recalibration. Each day, you relearn the shape of your own energy. Each choice becomes a vote for alignment or exhaustion. You begin to recognize you are not a bottomless well. You are a vessel, and vessels must be filled before they can pour. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." You don't become by pleasing. You become by choosing. So start choosing you, not out of defiance, but devotion. Because the most loving thing you can do for others is show them what it looks like to love yourself. Let's end where we began, with that tired, beautiful soul of yours. You've been giving from empty, loving from exhaustion, serving from fear, and the world kept clapping. because they didn't see the cost. But now you do. You see the moments when saying yes felt like self-erasure. You see the smiles that masked resentment. You see the truth you've been running from. That overgiving is not generosity. It's a trauma pattern dressed as virtue. And you're ready to stop, not because you're bitter, but because you're done betraying yourself for belonging. Carl Jung said that wholeness doesn't come from perfection. It comes from integration. And integration means honoring all of you. The part that wants to help. The part that wants to rest. The part that wants to say no. The part that is terrified of being called selfish. Bring them all in. Because healing isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming someone safe. For yourself. Today you get to choose. You can keep performing. Or you can start returning. Returning to your body. To your boundaries. To your truth. And when you do, you'll notice something wild. You won't need to prove your worth anymore. You'll just feel it. Not because others affirm it, but because you live it. In your stillness. In your softness. In your sacred no. That's what it means to give from fullness. Not from obligation, but overflow. So here's how we close. What is one moment this week where you gave too much? And what would it have looked like to choose yourself instead?